Want to learn how to generate income passively while you're sleeping in bed? In this video, guys, we're talking about passive income as a whole. We're talking about the returns as well as the different sources. Working on any one of these can really be the difference of building your income, retiring early, and being able to work more on the things that you love to do. Some of the things, guys, could be traveling often, staying home, taking care of your family. It could be buying high-end vehicles or some really cool toys, right? Living a lifestyle where you dictate your hours, you get to generate enough income where you're not going to be employed by someone who doesn't respect you. If you enjoy your job, you can even stay there and continue to build your net worth and continue to build your passive income and live a comfortable lifestyle while you're still working the 9-to-5 grind until you're ready to call it quits. In order to be successful with passive income, you're going to have to generate your time, money, and effort involved in order to really explore it to new levels where you can have a much better life. But you have to be willing to put in that work, guys. It can't just be 5% of doing, 95% of not doing. You have to be fully involved, fully committed, and have a plan and be able to execute on that plan. Robert Kiyosaki has said in order to reach financial freedom and wealth status, you're going to have to use your active income as a way to generate that over into passive income. Not to worry, guys, passive income is a real legitimate thing. With passive income, there's some things you're gonna have to consider before investing your hard-earned money. You really need to understand these concepts in order to really have passive income work for you positively over the long term, or else it could be something where it could work for you in the short term. You're gonna need to know the money, the time, the effort, the risks, the influencers, and anything else that could possibly impact that type of investment as a whole. You don't wanna have something that works out really well in the short term and then goes belly up over the long term. We want long-term sustainable passive income wealth. Don't be confused. Passive income is not created overnight. It takes time and effort to achieve passive income. And there's also going to be people out there who think they know about passive income of some of the topics that we're actually talking about today, but they don't take action. They've heard from Financial Post or different financial media sources and think that, oh, I know everything there is to know about these sources, but they've never taken action. So they know from what they've heard from an outside source, but they've never actually experienced it themselves. Last quote here, guys. Evan Carmichael has been quoted as saying that 5% of your time should be involved with thinking, planning, and strategizing, and 95% needs to be involved with doing when it comes to anything that you want to achieve. This is coming from one of the most successful YouTubers in the inspirational video space. He's got over 1.8 million subscribers. Of the sources that I'm going to share with you today, I actually am involved with a few of them. Some of them not so much, but I've definitely done my research and acquired as much information about as I could. Number one, guys, dividend paying stocks. As I've mentioned in some of my videos, guys, dividend paying stocks are a great way to generate passive income. With dividend paying stocks, you're buying into a well-established company, typically on a stock exchange. We're talking about Coca-Cola's, the Apples, the Googles, companies that we tend to use a lot of their products daily or buy products. These companies pay out profits to their shareholders for the following reasons: tax advantage and retaining and acquiring new potential shareholders. Many personal finance gurus recommend that you save about 10 to 20% of your net income and invest them into dividend paying stocks. By investing your money into dividend paying stocks as much as you can, as often as you can, and as early as you can, you'll see a rapid increase on your return. Guys, you can do this by opening up an online brokerage account through one of the main banks in your country, or you can go about even online platforms with no retail spaces. They tend to charge lower commission fees than the brick and mortar locations like your top 4 to 6 major banks. In my video, Compound Interest, if you invest $5,000 initially, continue to reinvest $166 a month, 10% annual rate of return, as well compounded for 40 years, you're looking at a portfolio of over $1.2 million after 40 years. Historically, investing into the stock market will give you 7 to 10%. And remember, guys, that's factoring in inflation as well as the recession years. Also within my compound interest video, I tend to show the different examples that if you start off with less money up front less investment over time monthly, but have more time for the money to grow, you tend to have a much larger volume of money at the end than somebody who starts perhaps 20 years later and invests more upfront and more monthly. And to really see the impact of your investment, you're gonna have to continue to reinvest the dividends. You can't just rely on the 7-8% annual. You have to continue to reinvest that money, right? And you'll see over long term how quickly your money will grow. In order to build a profitable portfolio, you don't have to be a millionaire. You don't even have to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars. Ronald Read in the 1950s was a gas attendant and a janitor. And by the time he's able to retire, he had over $8 million in his stock portfolio as he continued to reinvest often as early as he could and as much money as he could. I know the 1950s was a long time ago. A lot of these stocks that we're looking at today didn't exist, or the ones that did exist back in the 1950s were much cheaper. But Ronald Read was not making a lot of money. He took action, he made the investment, he reinvested, and he continued to rinse and repeat that formula, and he had quite the portfolio. If any one of us had $8 million living a modest lifestyle, we would be looking at quite the retirement. Before investing into a company, I highly recommend doing some market research. You want to look at the industry that they're in, the financials, you want to look at the types of products and services they're getting into. You just want to make sure they have a good competitive edge over the competition, and that it's not a highly competitive industry where it's something that in the very short term or possibly in the long term could be phased out and be obsolete. I truly believe it's super important to understand the possible threats and disadvantages that could go with that company or the industry. As an example I've mentioned in the past is the paper industry. If you're going to invest in a company that invests into paper, that's going to be a difficult company that's going to be around for a very short time, and then in the long term, they're for sure going to be phased out unless they can expand the digital scene and really build a strong foundation. Number 2 is my favorite, and it's hitting that like button. But really, guys, it's rental properties. I know what you're possibly thinking. Rental properties could be a lot of work, time to manage with tenants and repairs and so on and so forth. But with property management, it's a great way to make your investment go from an active investment to a passive investment. And typically, property management companies tend to take about 8 to 12% of your gross rents. Even with property management, guys, your investment's still going to be about 90 to 95% passive. But there's still some decisions you're going to have to make, and there's going to have to be some things that need to be done, perhaps bookkeeping and whatnot if you don't want to outsource that and you want to take that on. However, real estate is still a phenomenal investment to build wealth, and I'll tell you why. First, you have cash flow, which is revenue minus expenses with leftover profits. Successful investors have multiple properties cash flowing hundreds of dollars in which they can use to personally finance their own lifestyle. If done right with real estate, you can put as little as 5%, sometimes put no money in the deal, and get infinite amount of returns based on the initial investment of sometimes 5 to 0%. However, by doing this at 5% or even 0, you're gonna have to use someone else's money, but you're gonna have to have experience to back up, because if not, no one's gonna want to invest with you, and they're gonna think that their money's in jeopardy, and nobody just gives their money for free without having some research conducted on someone. Another wealth builder in real estate is asset appreciation. History has proven that with real estate will continue to improve over the long term. There will be some short-term dips, but historically it continues to improve over time based on the supply and demand metrics. This next one might get you thinking, why does this matter so much? But I'll tell you why. Mortgage paydown is another key metric in real estate. And as you continue to pay down your mortgage, you're essentially owning more and more of the property. Initially, you're going to pay a lot higher interest and less principal, but over time, that'll flip and you'll be paying less interest and more principal on your investment. As you continue to pay down your mortgage and your asset continues to appreciate, you're building equity which you can use to finance and buy more rental properties. With real estate, you have the ability to control your investment by buying a distressed property, essentially a property that is in severe need of cosmetic repairs, upgrade the appearance, put some good tenants in there, and as you've continued to increase the value of the property, put some good tenants in there, paying some quality rents, you can now pull out that equity in which you've built up maybe in a couple of months through the time it took to renovate the property, and use that to purchase more investment properties. And this strategy can be rinsed and repeated continually. The last two are tax advantages and leverage. With leverage, guys, you can collateralize your property to acquire funds tax-free from someone else, of course, usually the bank, and use it to build your portfolio of more cash flowing, asset appreciating, equity building properties. Now, for the tax advantages, you can report a loss on your property, even though you're cash flowing every month, and pay absolutely no taxes on your investment. While many of us have to pay 14 up to 30, sometimes even 50% taxes, with real estate, you can pay nothing by write-offs. Another thing, guys, that I love about real estate is the fact it's a physical asset. You can touch it, you can see it, you can feel it, you can smell it, you can drive by it, you can check on the location, and you can see other surrounding investments around it that can build the investment that you've initially put into your property. Now, if you go about combining and leveraging all aspects of all the sources we've just listed, you can go about really building some successful long-term wealth, which you can use to finance your lifestyle or even build wonderful retirement or build the future or build a path for your family. No matter what, guys, real estate is one of the best investments that you can do with your hard-earned time, money, and even go about acquiring knowledge. Number three, guys, is government/corporate bonds. Bonds, whether it being a corporate bond or a government bond, can really complement your portfolio and mitigate risk as it's not a high return investment. Bond is a loan in which any corporate entity or the government can use to expand on public infrastructure or go about expanding a business. An example would be like a corporate entity going about purchasing a large piece of land in which building a 10,000 square foot facility for manufacturing purposes and giving you return on your money for providing them a loan. Bonds have the lowest return or ROI in this video, but will keep up with inflation depending on the posted returns. So the government is the issuer, in which they determine the annual interest rate, which will be called a coupon, and they let you know the time frame it's going to take to pay back your investment, of course, with interest accumulated. The issuer, such as the government, could go about providing a 5-year term with, let's say, a 5% interest rate, in which over time, with the initial investment, they'll go about paying back the principal as well as the interest accumulated. Bonds are a phenomenal way to go about mitigating your risk because the low return, it's more stable, especially with stocks. They could fluctuate significantly. And it's a great way to really, stabilize your portfolio and make sure that you're getting the best return in the long run. Many personal finance gurus recommend to go heavy into stocks as early as you can until about your 40s. And as you go on, you want to have more involvement into bonds. Reason being is as you're getting closer to retirement, you want to make sure that you have less volatility and that your money will work for you. You don't want to be 5 years away from retirement and then all of a sudden the market dips 20% and then let's just say your $1 million portfolio drops dramatically, impacting how much you anticipate as a return. With purchasing bonds, the same principle applies as with dividend paying stocks. And so that could be through an online brokerage. It could be with a brick and mortar bank location where you can purchase over the counter. Or it can also be with some of the online only platforms where they don't have any actual physical locations, but they do have an online presence which they can help you set up your account and build your portfolio. An influence that makes a big impact on your money in terms of bonds are interest rates. If interest rates rise, then the yield increases, which means the price decreases for your bond. Now, if the opposite occurs, you've got a decrease in yield, which means a higher price tag for the bond. Diversification, capital appreciation, and income are some of the factors that make bonds super important to have in your portfolio that can be very beneficial. All in all, bonds are a great way to diversify, mitigate your risk, even get some returns that are just above inflation, and all in all, keep your portfolio from being super volatile and stabilizing so you can have more income towards retirement. Number 4, guys, is crowdfunding real estate. Are you someone who can't qualify for a mortgage or don't have enough for a down payment and want to own a piece of real estate? You can use crowdfunding as a way to own real estate. With crowdfunding, you're investing your money with other people to own a piece of real estate, which could be something along the lines of hotel, apartment building, single detached houses, multifamily properties, commercial real estate. You know, guys, it's a phenomenal way to go about owning a piece of real estate if you can't qualify, or if you've got extra funds that's not enough for a down payment, but you want your money to work for you. I highly recommend it. Let's say you decided to invest in crowdfunding real estate. We're going to use one of the big ones that's well known in the US, Fundrise. Let's say you bought into it. Voila, you now own a piece of real estate that'll continue to appreciate over time. Since 2014, Fundrise has generated 11% annual rate of return. The 11% is just the appreciation of the value of the property that isn't included with the dividends monthly they provide via cash flow every month. The 11% is just the appreciation of the property, does not include the dividends they provide to shareholders based on the monthly cash flow of their investments. To start, you'll need to invest a minimum of $500. With owning this type of investment, Fundrise is going to take 0.85% of the investment just because of managing and acquiring and taking care of the overall investment. Fundrise selects these properties as well as projects that have long-term growth based on the gentrification of neighborhoods, as Fundrise knows some of the many different elements and economics around these areas that will build long-term sustainable wealth and keep many people wealthy. With this investment, you don't have to deal with tenants, you don't have to have contractors on call, deal with bookkeeping. You just provide your upfront investment, and part of that 0.85% is Fundrise dealing with all those headaches and all those issues. And with this investment, you get to see your money grow and you get to acquire income from cash flow in the form of dividends. Fundrise is not the only crowdfunding source. There's many other ones out there, but for YouTube's sake, this is the most popular one that I've done my research on. Crowdfunding real estate is a great way to own real estate without having to deal with any tenant drama, contractors, bookkeeping, any sort of management involved. You just throw in your money, you get the appreciation, you get the dividends for income, and you get to see your investment grow for the long term. Last but not least, guys, affiliate marketing. Some people say that affiliate marketing is not necessarily passive, but just like any other investment, you need to invest your upfront time, even some money and energy in order to make it successful. Affiliate marketing is essentially creating some form of a blog, whether it being video or traditional, talking about products and services, having a link in the description in which viewers can click on the link, purchase through that source, and then go about as yourself, who has the link, will go about acquiring income based on a percentage of that sale. You can create a video, could be titled "The Best Microwaves of 2019." Talk about the features, the benefits, even the pros and cons, and rank them alongside with other microwaves. The great thing with this is that these viewers are highly qualified, as they're one step away from making a purchase. They just want to know a little bit more about the product, service, maybe even the pros and cons, and they're ready to make that transaction, which this provides you an opportunity to get compensated. Many e-commerce sites such as Amazon will provide affiliate marketers with 1 all the way up to 10% in commission, depending on the product. With affiliate marketing, the key is to find a high price ticket item in which you can receive 5%. So let's just say you're talking about headphones. They're going for $300 and the commission is 5%. You receive $15, which $15 does not seem like much, but if you're gonna get hundreds of people clicking on that link, purchasing those set of headphones, you can make lots of money very easily, very passively, as your video continues to resurface on platforms, of course, such as YouTube. Guys, there are some bloggers who are making some outstanding amounts of money through affiliate marketing. We're talking about thousands of dollars a day, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year without having to physically work 9 to 5 for your employer. One of the most successful affiliate marketers out there is ODI Productions. He produces video and content on YouTube on how he goes about making money, and he shows on his app that he makes sometimes tens of thousands of dollars a day based on affiliate marketing links. Sometimes even in weeks, he can have way more money than that. Now, to really compound your earnings, let's say you've got affiliate links working for you and you've got your monetization working for you on your YouTube channel, you're doubling your income as people are clicking on your YouTube video links, which will get people to transact on whatever products or services. Plus, you're getting ads on your video that you're monetizing. So you're doubling your sources of income. As long as your video is on the web in some way, shape, or form, you can continue to generate passive income. Affiliate marketing is becoming one of the sources that a lot of e-brands are now continuing to spend a lot of money on. Reason being is, with affiliate marketing, people are spending more money online than ever before. You're using an influencer's influence to get people, to encourage them to buy some of these products, in which is eliminating the brick and mortar retail space, in which many people continue to buy more and more products online, and retail is becoming a thing of the past, which is really going to make an impact of jobs and the industry of shopping alone. Even Tesla has their own affiliate marketing program, in which you, as the affiliate, if you get someone to click on your link, you can get 1,000 free hours charge time with your vehicle and have a chance to win a Roadster or a Model Y vehicle based on someone clicking and purchasing through your link. Affiliate marketing can really be one of those low costs, involve a little bit of time at first, but can generate a lot of income for you, very lucrative income that you could actually quit your 9-to-5 job, make tons of money, and live the lifestyle that you want with very little upfront cost, some time, and then over time you continue to compound your earnings. There you have it, guys. 5 passive income sources that you can generate while you sleep. Remember, if you're not willing to do the work that the 1% are willing to do, you'll get the results of the 99%. Remember, guys, to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and even hit that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time. Here are some videos that you can watch to help build your income and net worth. Enjoy.